Do you think? Do you think Elendil would be tempted?
I believe in good, so I think someone has to do good for everyone.
That's true.
That's Aragorn, isn't it?
War has come to Middle-earth.
Mr. Edwards,
Yes,
you get to spend a lot of time with Sauron in this season.
I do.
And you're a very good team, actually, because you have the ability and he has the vision.
That's
right?
yes.
I want to ask you about that complex relationship that you build together, the characters, but also behind the scenes.
So that's, you put it very well. They need each other. It's not purely Sauron-Celebrimbor. It's this. And throughout the season, there's a lot of power play because he can't do what he wants to do without me. And I can't do what I want to do without him. I want to be elevated and praised and, but he can give all that to me. When I first see him as Anatar in season 2, he promises me all these things. He says that I can make you the Lord of the Rings, he says.
Really feeds your ego, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah, and that's the basis of the relationship.
Yeah, and you like that.
I love that.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course. Behind the scenes, Charlie and I were both so looking forward to telling this story. And as the scripts came out, we were going, oh, this is great. Not only because it's a Tolkien canon story, which is always, satisfying to play, but the way the showrunners and the writers have crafted it, and it gets quite weird and dark and a bit scary, and they've done a really excellent job on charting this very destructive relationship. So Charlie and I just spent the whole time just really looking forward to coming to work every day and shooting it. It was one of the best jobs I've ever had. It was great.
So, Mr. Baldry,
Hello.
in last season and this season, we have to wait a lot to look at the Númenóreans.
Yeah.
We have to wait 3 episodes to look at you.
Patience is a virtue.
I know. But I know that you have a very rough start in this season because you get to face a character known from the movies, which is Shelob, the spider, the monster. I want to ask you about that encounter.
Okay. I mean, that was the way that the character's introduced to season 2. He wakes up in a spider's cave and has to fight for his life. He has to fight to survive, and I think that just is the sort of story for him for season 2. He's a fish out of water. He's in Middle-earth. He's alone. He's been abandoned, and he has to figure out a way how to get through each day. And he meets some interesting people. He may have also got a sort of romance. Yeah, he meets a girl.
Oh, yeah.
That also brushes his ego a bit.
Okay, yeah.
And then he has to make a decision at the end of season 2, which is one of does he sort of see a future in Middle-earth, or is his love for Númenor stronger? And I think that's the sort of battle that he has to that he has in his mind. But he grows up, and he's going to become he's hardened by the experiences in season 2, and he becomes more mercenary in his thinking, and maybe more of the warrior that we expect him to eventually become.
I am very happy to have the freedom now to talk about Sauron, because when I had interviews for season 1, nobody said anything, and Charlie Vickers was so good about that. But now I can ask you, when did you find out, and how did you react to that?
He was so good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I knew
I couldn't get
someone
out of him.
Tipped me off. Someone had told me.
Really? Who? Someone high up?
I can't remember. But when I first met Charlie, I said, "Hello, I'm Charlie." He said, "Hello, I'm Charlie." I said, "I think we're going to have a lot of scenes together next year." And he went, "Yes, I think we are." This was before it had been announced. So, or before Halbrand had been revealed. This was months before the thing was released. So I knew.
We all suspected.
Yes, I'm sure.
But
yeah.
I mean, that is a.
Yeah, I can't
really
remember
revealing
how I got the information, but I knew we were going to be working together a lot, so I thought might as well just say it.
Charlie always gets information when he needs it.
No, you're the one who gets the information.
Well, sometimes I do.
Maxim gets all these secrets. He's got he's got all the information.
Sometimes
It's amazing.
it's a gift.
Yeah.
It is a gift.
Call it a gift.
Call it. Sorry, we just quite.
Sorry.
I love this.
We're talking riddles.
But no, yeah, Charlie says that, he told so many lies during the press tour for that, because obviously he couldn't say anything. But on that point though, it's great for all of us, not just about Sauron, but about the whole show, to be able to talk about it now.
Yeah.
Because when we last did press, we were
Shrouded in secrecy.
treading on eggshells, maneuvering our way around what we're allowed to say, what we're not allowed to say. But now we can talk much more freely, which is great.
And it gets everyone more excited, I think, as well.
Yeah.
I like a lot one thing about Sauron as a villain, that he doesn't try to find your weakness. He tries to find the thing that you are good at, and then he tries to grow that so your ego is bigger. And that made me think about other great villain, which is Thanos from the MCU. He also has his vision and his way to think that he is a hero and that his vision is right. So I want to ask you, what do you think after knowing more about Sauron through the show? Maybe he's right on some things. Maybe he's not. What do you think about him as a villain?
Charlie's view is definitely that he does believe in his mission and that his mission is a good one.
A noble aim.
A noble aim.
Yeah.
However, I think the way Charlie puts it is that everyone keeps getting in his way. It's great to have a villain that does believe he's doing good, right? Because there's a villain who's just out and out evil. It's fun, but not very interesting, So for a villain with a passion that everyone else says, what do you do? That's nuts. But he's essentially a tyrant, and how many tyrants have we seen in history, who believe what they're doing is right. It's just that no one else agrees with them. So I think that gives it a much more rounded, and Charlie, of course, does it beautifully, much more rounded character.
And he's a master sort of manipulator as well.
Yeah.
And there's a psychological element to Sauron.
He's a seducer, he's a charmer.
Yeah. And I think that's so dark.
Yeah,
and
it's twisted. Yeah.
Isildur spends the whole first season trying to get out of Númenor, trying to escape and to see the world. And in this season, I guess he's going to try to come back.
Yeah.
When we know what's going to happen, the tragic ending that's going to have Númenor, and that's not a spoiler because we know the story. What do you think about that, like the feelings that your character is going through?
Yeah, I think Isildur is quite tragic, I think, in many ways, the story. Things get taken away from him constantly, and I think he's grieving in season 1, and his response is to run away, to escape. But there's something human about it. There's something quite sort of likable in a way. He needs a hug from someone, but yet he doesn't really have great friendships, and he doesn't have, his closest friendship is with a horse, is with Beric. So I think as the story goes on, I think more things will be taken away from him, which will harden him. So there won't be that sort of youthful naivety or glow to him, and he's going to be a little bit more. I keep thinking of the word mercenary because I just think that kind of describes him, because he still has a goal and a passion, and I think he may almost have similar visions to his father, but the ways in which they do it is going to sort of be different. And I think that's going to be kind of cause more fracturing, but yet their love for Númenor will still be at the heart of everything. So there's something beautiful about his love for Númenor, but yet, he'll have different ways of wanting to achieve things.
That's very Tolkien, actually, isn't it? The way qualities get passed down particularly from father to son and from grandfather to grandson. It's a very Tolkien theme.
But I would actually argue, I don't know whether Elendil would do the same thing as Isildur would. I think there's something inherently different about Isildur to Elendil.
Hence the friction.
Hence the sort of, it's like, we want the same thing, but why can't you just do the same thing as me? Just do it like me.
Yeah.
And there's like, maybe it's because Númenor sinks and Elendil has spent his whole life there, whereas I've only just spent a fraction of my life there. So maybe there's something different in there. Because we talk about it with Lloyd, I'm like, if Elendil got the ring, what would he do? Like, what would have happened?
What would he do?
Well, he's noble, isn't he? So he's the
You never
the
know.
hero.
He might be. It's Tolkien. He might be tempted.
Do you reckon?
You never know.
What do you think? Do you think Elendil would be tempted?
I believe in good, so I think someone has to do good for everyone.
That's true.
That's Aragorn, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you so much for both of you.
Thank
It's an
you.
honor.